Imagine offering your company to a giant competitor for $50 million and getting laughed out of the room. Fast forward 2 decades, and that same competitor is bankrupt, while your company is worth over $200 billion. This is the incredible rise of Netflix, a story about vision, risk, and reinvention, and how a tiny startup transformed into an entertainment empire, but now faces its biggest challenge yet. The question remains, could Netflix be on the brink of collapse? Stick around to find out how Netflix went from near failure to the top of the world, and why it might all be falling apart once again. Our story begins in the late 90s. Mark Randolph had a dream to create an online business. Inspired by the booming success of Amazon, he carried around a little notebook full of startup ideas: dog food, surfboards, baseball bats. But his friend Reed Hastings kept rejecting them all, saying, "That'll never work." Until one day, Mark had an idea that sparked Reed's interest: renting out videotapes online. But here's the problem. It was 1997. People were using bulky VHS tapes, which would be expensive to ship and easy to damage. The dream seemed dead until Reed stumbled upon an article about a new technology: DVDs. Smaller, lighter, and easier to ship. A light bulb went off in their heads. Could this be the future of home entertainment? In 1998, the two friends took a leap of faith and launched Netflix as an online DVD rental service. Customers could rent DVDs online and have them delivered right to their doorsteps. But here's where it gets interesting. They were so nervous on launch day, they had no idea how many orders to expect. They rigged a bell to ring with every order. The bell rang once, then again, and again. Orders kept flooding in. It seemed like the start of something incredible, but just 15 minutes later, the website crashed. They had too much demand and not enough servers. Despite the rocky start, Netflix kept pushing forward. They even caught the eye of Amazon's founder, Jeff Bezos. Bezos invited the Netflix team to discuss a possible acquisition. Imagine this: Netflix, still in its infancy, had the chance to be bought out by the biggest e-commerce giant. But when Bezos offered to buy them, Reed and Mark said no. They believed Netflix could become something much bigger on its own. But the question was, how could they compete with Blockbuster? At the time, Blockbuster was a $6 billion giant, making nearly $800 million a year just from late fees. Netflix was a tiny startup by comparison, but the founders knew they had one advantage. They understood the internet, and Blockbuster didn't. Despite all odds, they went head-to-head with Blockbuster in the battle of DVD rentals. But just when things were heating up, something happened that changed everything for Netflix. They stopped selling DVDs altogether and made a bold move that would reshape their future forever. In 2007, Netflix made its most significant pivot yet: streaming. Instead of mailing out DVDs, they let users stream movies online. People no longer had to wait for their movies in the mail. They could watch instantly. This shift turned Netflix from a rental service into a tech powerhouse. But there was still one problem. Netflix didn't own any of its content. To survive, they needed more than just technology. They needed something no one else had: their own shows. Enter House of Cards. Netflix poured $100 million into producing their first ever original series. It was a massive gamble. If it failed, it could have sunk the company, but it didn't. Instead, House of Cards became a massive hit and changed the game forever. From that moment on, Netflix was not just a platform, but a studio, creating some of the most binge-worthy content in entertainment history. They soon became the name in streaming, outpacing their competitors with shows like Stranger Things, Narcos, and The Crown. But as they say, success breeds competition. Today, Netflix finds itself in the middle of a streaming war, battling giants like Disney+, Amazon, and Apple. More and more companies are pulling their content from Netflix to create their own services. Netflix, once the king of streaming, now faces a future filled with uncertainty. Could this be the end of Netflix's reign? Netflix has reinvented itself time and time again, but the question is, can they do it again? Or will they end up like Blockbuster, the very company they outlasted? One thing's for sure, this is a battle worth watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments, is Netflix destined to fall, or will they rise yet again? This is Bad But Business, where we explore the dark, chaotic, and unexpected sides of the business world. See you in the next video.